Don Perkins has coached the women's volleyball team at Kean University since 2009. His success over the past 15 years has just culminated in his 300th victory with a win over Hunter College. Don joins me now to talk about this recent milestone. Don, thanks so much for coming on this morning, and a big congratulations.
Thank you. My pleasure.
So when did you know volleyball was the sport you wanted to pursue, and how did it lead you to Kean University?
That's a long story. I don't know. I started out as a basketball player, but I ended up in volleyball, and playing as a player. And then a friend of mine called me one point and said, "I'm going back to Syracuse, our alma mater. Would you like to take over my program?" And I was like, "Well, what do you do?" They'll pay you to coach college volleyball. And so I was it. And that path, I went to Mississippi State from there, and then ended up at Kean, and been 16 years now.
Fantastic. Now, I read that your teams have qualified for the postseason in each of the last 12 years. How are you guys performing this year, and who have been some of your standout players along the way?
Yeah, we've developed a bit of an identity as a middle hitter program, so each of the last 6 years we've had an All-American who was a middle hitter, and some of the New Jersey athletes in that line would be Sarah Ridgway was a kid from Barnegat, and Kayla Thornton from Egg Harbor. So we've had some really good players. Kaylee Morrison is currently one of our middle hitters. She was an All-American last year. She's from Elizabeth. We've also had players from, other parts of the country, Illinois and California, that have held that position for us too. So, but that's kind of become a bit of our identity, and we've done really well with it.
What are some of the important matchups you have coming up on the schedule?
Every match is important when you're a coach, but yeah, we've got Rowan tomorrow night, and that's going to be a big one. It always is. And end of the year on election day, actually, we play Montclair State, and that's one of our big rivals, just across all sports. So it's always big to play them, whether the stakes are there or not. It's just a big game to play.
So let's talk about the milestone now. What was going through your mind when your team got the win against Hunter College and you secured that 300th victory?
I said this to a couple of people. 200 was a conference championship game. So playing a non-conference game, whatever, was a little bit more low key. But what really it hit home for me a couple hours later. I heard from about 40 or 45 former players had reached out in one way or another to congratulate me. And at the end of the day, this is a people business, and whenever I get to hear from my former players, it's a good day. And that's the part that I really resonated with me, and I appreciated was just a chance to reconnect with all of them.
Well, let's expound on that. Like, what does this victory mean for you and all of the girls over the years who helped make this achievement possible?
Yeah, I don't. Kean's been fortunate. Before me, the previous coach was here, I think 20 something years, and of course I've been here 16 years now. So it's been a very stable program, and the players who come in and the players who are here, I think, that know what to expect, and that's a big part of what's allowed us to be so successful over a long run, and and that stability, I think, allows us to get better players, and kind of so that it kind of feeds onto itself. And makes us just a stronger, better program.
And Don, I ask this to every coach I interview. You teach them to be better athletes while they're in their uniforms. How do you teach these girls to be better people in the real world?
Yeah, a lot of it is unsaid. You try to do the right things, and what you model and what you do what you teach them on the court, and you hope it kind of carries over. And you'll draw some connections from the court to the classroom. From the court to the weight room or whatever, about living healthy and being good people and all that. By and large, looking at the players who've been here and what they've gone on to accomplish as alumni and mothers and wives and friends, I think it's worked for the most part. There's certainly a number of alumni that we're really, really proud of. But it's not something that we explicitly when you're older, you're going to want to do this, or when you do this, you're going to want to do that. I mean, we're coaching them to pass a volleyball and hit a volleyball. But the hard work ethic, just the confidence, the health habits, I think, are things that we hope stay with them for a lifetime.
Don Perkins, head coach of women's volleyball at Kean University. Congrats again, my friend, and thanks so much for taking the time this morning.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Head over to ONNJ.com for the latest news and sports anytime.